Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 103 for August 9th, 2023. I am Nemesis and I'm joined by Alcatraz here.
Hello.
A couple things happened in the world of anime, I think. Well, a couple things I want to at least briefly mention. They've announced, the third season of Sound Euphonium will be coming out in April of next year.
Well, that was a fairly good series.
Yeah, despite.
Could have been better in certain ways.
They said April 2024 will be the third season. The OVA movie thing is coming out this year later. Or actually, now. It's out now in Japan.
That's out now.
Out now. They have, apparently the tagline is I Love Katauji, which I believe is a school name. Yuri Yuri getting a spin-off movie theatrical thing.
Interesting.
Based off the spin-off manga, which is about the Sakurako, which year was that? That's the 7th grade one, the one Himiwako, who always with Himiwako. It's kind of stupid.
That doesn't narrow it down.
The short blonde one is kind of stupid and is jealous of Himiwako. And Sai's friends with her all the time, except they always fight, except they're also friends, and they had, that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off about the family. Particularly the three sisters there. It's Omurike. 2 theatrical things coming in 2024, and they've already done a teaser. Apparently this might have been the thing they were talking about, because someone said something about Yuri Yuri Season 4. Might be this was actually what they're talking about.
Yep.
Apparently, finally, that was the other thing as I noticed, was finally the 4th Evangelion movie is up for pre-order in the US on Blu-ray.
Finally.
It's coming out later. There's the 4K version, which is only available in the collector's edition, or you get the regular 1080p Blu-ray version that's, cheaper. The collector's edition is about, on Amazon, it's about $80. If you get it from Shout Factory directly, which at this point, they still have copies available, it's only $65.
Let's see how long those last.
I don't know, they've lasted quite a while, actually. They're already, they had like 700 when I ordered. They're still at the 600 range as of this recording. They have actually less copies available of the regular version. I think people are going for that one just because it's cheaper and all the other movies are in just 1080p Blu-ray and not 4K.
Right.
Last thing, which is Bandai Namco.
Bandai.
Because, as we all know, apparently, despite everything at the end of The Witch from Mercury, it's up for interpretation. Yeah, so what happened was they had an interview with one of the people, I believe it was a voice actress for Witch from Mercury, and they talked about how Soletta and Miorine are married. And then, so that's in the magazine, but in the digital version, they edit it to remove the word married. And then people are like, what the heck? And then they apologize, not for removing the word marriage, but because it was there in the first place. Because their official stance now apparently is it's up for interpretation.
Which is a load of BS.
Yeah, pretty much everyone is calling them out on that and making memes about it. And the Japanese Gundam fans are like, oh, no.
There's nothing interpretation about this. It's pretty freaking obvious.
Yeah. So, it's ridiculous. And Bandai Namco was getting a lot of heat. And it's like, hey, cool, you got a brand new fan base. Hope you don't mind them just all going away.
Yeah, it's
asinine.
It's such a brain dead decision. It can only be it had to have been done by some exec who wasn't actually really involved or paying attention,
or just trying to downplay it because we can't offend.
Yeah, but it's like the entire series up to that point is pretty blatant about this, and now they step in.
Old people might be uncomfortable though.
But to do that at the end just sounds like someone who wasn't there watching through the rest of it and just now realized and is trying to backpedal or something. Or it's just like,
it's a fun fact apparently about 68% of the population, at least from what I read, 68% of the population in Japan supports gay marriage. So that's something.
I mean, wasn't one of the first episodes Mio is like, when it brought up, but I'm a girl. Yeah, so
Yeah, pretty much.
For some conservative place. Yeah, isn't that just literally a thing?
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Oh, it's so stupid. Bandai.
Bandai Namco, yep. Some executive decided, no, we can't do that.
No.
We can't actually have gay people that who knows what might happen. But anyway,
They might be happy. We can't have that, right?
Right. Anyway, so moving on from that, I guess, to our actual topic of discussion for this episode, which is, yes, some summer 2023 anime. Once again, yep, picked 4 at random, mostly at random. Watched 3 episodes of each, and we're going to put our first impressions down. Because, yeah, quite a few things, and yeah, like we said before, there was definitely a lot. There's this general attitude that this season's picks are not so great.
Yep. It's, kind of slim pickings this season.
Yeah, anyway, so again, 3 of them were picked at random, 1 was picked intentionally. Threw it in the last second because, like, well, the one we did give it, that just looks like a generic, boring rom-com. I'm going to replace it right now. But anyway, our first thing that was popped up was actually My Happy Marriage. Or Watashi no Shiwase Nakakon.
Yep.
Takes place in the 19th century, by the way. It's old. About Mio Saimori. She's generally unhappy because, well, she is generally happy, to put it lightly, because she's in a crappy family who basically treats her like dirt because, well, for various things, including, like, apparently she doesn't have spiritual power. That's one of the things we discover. But she's more or less treated like a servant and not a daughter or sister or whatever. Her dad remarried because her mom died. For reasons, I don't think they got into those yet.
Not by the 3rd episode, at least.
This point, yeah. Has a stepmother who treats her like dirt. Has a half-sister now who treats her like dirt.
Everyone but the other servants treat her like dirt.
Pretty much.
And even then.
And then there's a boy named Koji who shows up and, clearly likes her, and she clearly likes him. Unfortunately, he is then, he winds up married to the sister instead because of, that's just how you did things. You don't get to decide. Your family decides for you.
Yep.
And that's how it was. And she was instead married off to some other guy who has a reputation for being kind of cold and cruel and all sorts of things. And actually not so much, really. In fact, he seems somewhat nice. He just doesn't show it super well in the sense that, like, he's just not a very emotional person.
Right.
But she is now discovering that maybe there's a chance for happiness here. And that's kind of the gist of it. It's interesting. So, because, Kaya, the half-sister, is clearly, going to be important down the line, particularly since we're not, she's not, like, just gone after the first episode. Kyoka Kudo, that's the guy that she's now engaged to. Not married yet, but engaged to, supposedly. Although, apparently, this is not the first time that he's been engaged.
Apparently, all the rest of them have run away.
So that's the thing.
Because, he's cold and cruel, so they all run away.
Yeah. But she is so miserable. She just kind of, at first she just very, keeps her head down. Just, I'll just do whatever, do the servant thing. And he's like, no, stop that. Stop that. Stop apologizing.
What are you doing?
It's things like noticing her clothes are like just barely, hanging on because they're just, in such poor condition. Gets her new clothes and he's treating her nicely and just, it's like, it's real nice. Also, he's apparently a commander of some local military thing, and also they fight spirits.
Oh yeah, by the way, there's actual spirits and spiritual warfare and magic here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna toss that in.
Yes,
now.
That's the thing. And part of the thing is apparently her family is known for being very spiritual, and she has no powers. So that's part of the reason apparently she's been treated poorly.
Yep,
no powers.
Specifically, it was her mom's family who is dead.
Yeah. Well, not just her mom's family, her dad's family too, because the half sister has spiritual powers. Remember?
Right, but I know the mom was a big one. Supposed to be a big one.
That's a big thing too. Yeah, so she doesn't have any, so she's treated like dirt. There's also some other things which have popped up, which I noticed, but haven't been addressed yet because only 3 episodes in. Like, why? That's one thing I know is why does stepmother call Mio's dead mother a conniving thief? And it looks like possibly because her dad was with the stepmother before kind of being married off to this other woman, and now that she's dead, he has a chance to remarry. Hey, look, he remarried the woman that he actually
so it's like a
liked.
jealousy thing.
And turns almost looks like their dad was always kind of a scumbag.
Yep.
I thought it might be one of those weird things where maybe the dad, nope.
His dad like being forced into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like it's there. It's like maybe no.
And then apparently there's also something going on there because like her mother came from the Usuba family line. They're supposed to be a thing. And then also there's the Tatsuishi family, and that was, I think that's where Koji came from, except it was one of those things. There's a bit of an argument there. Like things changed and deal changed, and yeah.
Yep.
Bit of a apparently they wanted her. Yeah, the Tatsuishi family wanted her for some reason, and because she's the daughter from the Usuba line, and
yep,
there's a whole thing there.
All of the drama and stuff that comes from arranged marriages,
plus the supernatural stuff.
That on top of supernatural stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Mio's mom didn't just die.
Yeah. At this point, there might be some implication that there was foul play.
It's one of those that's like, did the stepmom kill her?
Don't know.
That seems to be the obvious one, but it could also be it's the obvious one, so that can't be it. It's just a misdirection. Who knows? Yeah, and it was Mio's mom's family had their power was mind manipulation. Apparently,
something.
Yeah, some sort of. Yeah, messing with people's mind, and that's why they were really important people.
I'm wondering about this half sister. The way she acts sometimes, it's like it's because it's like she's not completely guiltless, mind you, but if literally from when you're born, you're seeing everyone treating your sister like garbage. You just go, okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's indoctrination. That's what that is.
So again, she's not completely guiltless because certainly at this point now she should at least there should be some degree of like, wait a minute.
But yeah, she continues it.
I can see her kind of becoming less of a bad person over time.
Especially with she's
Koji.
Married to Koji, and if she leaves the house and gets away from stepmom.
And I guess father, too.
Although
for
father
her, it's
is
not her stepmom, that is her mother.
Yeah, that is her mom, yeah.
If she gets away from her parents, then who knows?
Yeah, and start getting out from under it can do a wonder for opening your worldview, especially if you're paired with Koji.
But the big thing here, it's a large chunk of the story is about Mio healing from her horrible life at her family, with her family. Like, that's a big thing. It's one of those things we see. It's not an instant process. It's a slow, very careful, delicate process.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, there's a lot of stuff where Kyoka there, he kind of figures out pretty quickly he's going to have to be very careful about everything, but he seems to be so far at least handling it pretty well.
Yeah.
No doubt in my line there's probably going to be some sort of drama down the line when he screws up. He's going to screw up somewhere, and he's going to have to make it clear that it's not what she thinks it is or something. That's always a thing in these sort of stories.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. It's going to
But he seems to understand that he doesn't know the full story yet, but it's pretty clear. He's pretty much figured out that something was not right in that household. And that's why she's so skittish and afraid all the time. But she slowly, one of the things is there's a big moment where she smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this one thing which I saw someone else talking about, which is, finally there's a thing here which kind of makes another anime we watched an event in there make it more obvious. The comb.
The comb.
Yeah, he gives her a comb, which apparently in Japan is a big deal.
Yep, apparently it's a sign of...
it is more or less a sign of, I want to marry you.
Yeah, it's an engagement offering.
Which
basically.
is like, because I just remembered something, because in Zombieland Saga, there's the flashback episode of Yugiri, the boy, basically the guy who's more or less essentially Kotaro's ancestor, I can't remember his name now, who wanted to unite all of Saga, bring back Saga, he gave Yugiri a comb. I don't think he really thought about what he was doing, but yeah, that's why she was kind of treating it so kind of delicately. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, and that's a big deal.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just a comb.
It's just a comb.
Oh
no,
it's not just a comb. There's a lot more to it.
Yep.
But anyway, I actually really like this.
It's much better than I thought it was going to be. My expectations, I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but my expectations were pretty neutral going in.
I like it.
Yeah, it was relatively enjoyable. I think the adding in the spiritual part with the spirits and stuff was kind of odd at first. I don't think it's wrong or bad.
Yeah.
But it does make me curious to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
I know it's going to involve more family stuff.
I mean, generally just a sweet anime, and I just kind of want to watch more.
Yeah. My biggest worry with the supernatural part is that it may not take away from dealing with certain things.
Yeah,
like you're spending time talking about fighting spirits. You're not going through dealing with Mio's trauma and dealing with all of that and all those sort of things. But it is still possible to do both.
Yeah. One other thing I want to mention also is apparently Kyoko has some of those supernatural powers himself.
Yeah.
He's pyrokinetic.
Lasers from his fingers.
Pyrokinesis.
Yeah.
So yeah, one was like, I can draw my own bath. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's because, well, he can just heat it himself.
He just heat it. Also, he's kind of paranoid.
Yeah, he's a little paranoid, which is understandable. I mean,
they
make it clear the reason he's paranoid because multiple times women have come out, trying to marry him because power and wealth and
yeah. It's not paranoia if they're actually out to get you.
So yeah, there's all that stuff, and he's finding out some bits too. So we're gonna probably see all this unravel, and who knows over the season, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And this is based on a light novel and manga and all that stuff, and it's actually fairly recent. The manga came out in 2018. Not light novel came out in 2019, so yeah, it's fairly recent. This anime was done by Kinema Citrus, which we've seen them pop up here before. Use Shiki, Made in Abyss, Review Starlight, Rising of the Shield Hero. This. Hey, my happy marriage.
Yep.
So yeah,
Review Starlight.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, Star Wars. Oh, they did one of the Visions one in Star Wars.
Yeah. But anyway, it is also on Netflix, and I think Netflix finally got, kind of figured out anime fans don't want to wait till the end of the season to watch their anime. They want to watch it as it comes out because it's actually, available to watch since we're watching it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would not have been on the list because we've had to cut stuff before because it's Netflix.
Yep, they're going to hold on to it forever so they can release it as one big dump.
Yeah, because all our algorithm shows that
everyone wants to binge watch.
And it's like, well, the anime is the outlier. Stop doing it with the anime. Because what happened, they discovered with the anime, people just pirate it then. Because they're not going to wait.
Especially not when it's showing. Yeah, if it's showing up elsewhere, why would I wait?
There you go.
We have fan subs if you want to try and gate those too.
So yeah, I want to keep watching that one.
It definitely seems interesting. I'd like to try to watch it.
Yeah.
Netflix. I don't want to pay for Netflix though.
So we'll go ahead and move on. The next one is called Dark Gathering, and I believe this is one of the ones that actually got a bit of more buzz around it compared to some of the other anime this season.
Yeah, I think it was one of the ones that was like chosen to be.
Yeah, it's
you get some of those every season. Like we're going to pick this one to be the big one. Whether it is or not is to be seen. You
got Ketoro Gentoga, who's a university student, and he's apparently got the ability to see spirits.
Or at least attract them. Yeah, he
senses them. He can sense them in a degree. Anyway, he also has a childhood friend, Eiko Hozuki. Apparently there was a thing that happened back in the day involving spirits and him and her, and bad things happen. Apparently now they have to wear gloves because of reasons involving gross stuff. And yeah, then Eiko there has a cousin named Yayoi. And she's a kid, and she's got weird eyes. And they sense that she has 4 pupils, and they look like skulls. And yeah, she can really see spirits better than Kitaro can. And yeah.
Yep, she can just straight up see them.
And that's the thing, is she drags them along on these creepy places to go catch spirits and whatnot. And part of the reason is because apparently her parents were killed in a car crash, and her mother was taken by some horrible spirit, and she wants to go get her from it, and she needs spirits to fight for her.
Yeah, so that's the thing. She's collecting evil spirits to force them to do her bidding.
Yep, and she's forcing them by some weird methods, to say the least.
Yes,
it's definitely horror.
It's horror, but it's
some comedic bits to it.
Yeah.
Kind of it's definitely an odd one.
It is an odd one. It's like it's definitely horror, but it's not like a comedy horror, but it I don't really know how to pin it because it's not like scary, and it doesn't feel like it's trying to really spook the audience.
Yeah. Anyway, Keitaro is also known as K, and he's got a grandma who's like a priestess, and she helps him because apparently one of the things is his hand just keeps growing nerves excessively and have to get cut off.
Because his nerves, apparently he has external nerves on his hand.
And they just keep growing,
curse.
and they have to keep cutting them cut off. And I expect Aiko has the same thing because she also wears gloves because he has one gloved hand, which is the one, and she has gloves on all the time too. So I'm suspecting either that or something similar.
Something similar. Yeah, they haven't revealed that yet.
Yeah. Also, she did also act kind of weird at one point.
She did.
Like,
she can get kind of creepy every now and then.
Every once in a while, so it makes me wonder what's happened there.
Yeah.
To the point, at one point, I thought, oh man, she also dead or something.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, I mean, she's driving a car and everything. At first, it's like, no one's talking to her except for these two, but never mind.
No.
It seems to be not the case, but who knows?
And they, at least by the third episode, they're being kind of cagey about what happened.
Yeah, just something bad happened with the spirit, and apparently they thought they were just going to have to live this curse, but you always say there's like, no, you can break it. You just need to, get the right kind of spirit.
Yeah, you just need to find a big enough one that can go fight the other one.
Yep, that sort of thing.
That's where the third episode leaves off.
Yeah, so there's the whole thing there. It's like they basically, it seems it's pretty clear this is them going around finding strong spirits to fight the other strong spirits that that are. Yeah.
Yep. Collect a bunch of smaller ones to go fight the bigger ones that you can't collect or whatnot, all to get a huge, big army to go fight the big evil spirit.
Because the OE there takes the spirits and they more or less are attached to these plushies and whatnot that also she puts bits of herself in, fingernail clippings or bits of hair or blood or whatever, and then that means they tank the damage she'll take from other spirit, and if they survive, that means they're stronger, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and then she finds a way to get that spirit, and it's this kind of this constant fighting amongst themselves to be stronger.
Yeah, it creates puppets that act as proxies for her. It's sort of like, what is that? Voodoo, almost like a voodoo doll. It's similar in ways, but not quite. But that acts as a proxy, so it can then be possessed by the spirit. But since it's also a proxy, anything that happens to her happens to the proxy.
Mm-hmm.
So the other spirits don't want to attack her because that'll damage the spirits and themselves, and then they'll all fight amongst themselves because, you're not going to hurt her because that's going to hurt me.
Yep.
And it's like that story about the monkeys in the staircase.
Yeah.
And in the ladder. There's an old story. But
that thing.
Yeah. Well,
yep. That whole thing, because
even
after they don't even know why, they just don't climb the ladder.
Because that's just what you do, yeah. Yep. That's sort of what it is, and she's controlling them that way.
Yep. Dead parents gotta save mom's spirit from the really bad spirit, and
it's an interesting idea. I'm not 100% on it, but it is definitely intriguing in certain ways.
Yeah.
The big bad demon spirit thing
looks like a fetus.
It looks like a fetus.
A giant fetus.
It's like, that looks like a big giant fetus. Also, I don't know if your mom's rescuable there, little kid. I think she might be gone by now.
Oh.
But who knows? It may be a weird bring the spirit back thing.
Yeah, one of the things was initially apparently she only see the spirit world, but then after that accident she could see it all.
Yeah, that was a quick explanation. But apparently she got her skull eye double pupil thing before that, and they took her to the doctor and they couldn't figure out why.
Well, it's basically as long as she can see fine, shouldn't be a problem. Just keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on it.
Yep.
But then the accident happened, and she saw all the demons around it, and then saw the big demon. And
personally, I actually kind of like this one.
It's not bad. It just, I don't know. There are intriguing plot elements to it, but it just seems like it's a little. I guess on just the low execution of it seems a little rough around the edges, but not too bad. It's still good.
I like it well enough.
I think I like Happy Marriage better.
I just kind of I just want to see what's going on with the.
I'm incredibly curious.
It sounds like it almost sounds like the fourth episode is going to deal with Aiko based off that preview, but we'll see.
Yeah, finally figuring out what happened in the past. More details about the curse.
Yeah, the curse.
The curse.
Yeah. This is based on a manga, which is still going, apparently. It started in 2019. But yeah, it says studios OLM in Team Masuda.
OLM. Why does that sound familiar?
They've been around since 1990. I see.
Oh,
Okay, there's
probably
team.
made a lot
Okay,
of
that's a
stuff.
different team. It's a team in OLM. Okay, so Team Masuda is a team within OLM. It goes. There's a lot of different teams.
Ah, so it's like a conglomeration.
Let's see, Masuda. Okay, so there's some old ones too. Masuda is
Pokemon.
Oh, one of the people there is a former producer at Mappa.
Oh,
At
I know
Masuda.
that name.
Let's see if there's any particular that Team Masuda's worked on. Zoid's Wild Zero, Mix 2, and Dark Gathering, Beyblade Burst Quad Drive,
Beyblade.
and Beyblade Burst Quad Strike. Okay. Yeah, this animation studio's worked on a lot of stuff, but this Masuda team in particular has only worked on so many things. They've worked on Pokemon.
Yeah, I was I'm seeing a lot of Pokemon here.
Yeah, I'm seeing this the studio as a whole has worked on Pokemon, Guyver, Tamagotchi, Yokai Watch,
Yep, Yokai Watch.
Card Fight, Shinkansen Henki Robo Shinka.
Oh man, that's one with Miku.
It's one of the toys that Tomy makes. It's Tomy.
Wait, is that? Oh, it's one of the Yamatos as well.
Tomy can't communicate.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't toy with me, Miss Nagataro.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, they've definitely worked on quite a few things.
Yep.
But again, that's this particular team has only worked on a handful of things. But yeah, I like it well enough. I'm gonna try to keep up with it as of for now. Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next one.
Yep.
It's a horror thing. It's got some light comedic elements, but it's kind of more the horror thing, which makes sense because in Japan, summer is the time for horror, not October.
But it's kind of a light horror, really.
Yeah, it's
every now and then it gets a little bit creepier, but most of the horror elements kind of light.
Yeah. So our third is Sensuality Noir.
Noir.
Or just Sensuality, apparently, which is one of those multimedia things. Because guess who's doing it? Bandai Namco.
Bandai once again.
It's pretty obvious, yep, because look, there's a game coming, the third-person shooter thing coming in this year, and there's this anime, and there's the manga, and there's the game, and the night novel, and the serial novel, and the figures, which just went up for pre-order like a couple days ago as of recording, and yep, big multimedia thing. Anyway, it looks like it takes place in some sort of post-apocalyptic future thing. Humans are now living in dome cities, particularly the one we're focusing on is one called Rocktown. And, there's these people called, what do they call themselves? Drifters. They pilot these mecha suits called coffins, and they fight these things called enders. And there's a whole lot of things that are not really quite explained. Like, where the heck the enders come from? What are these things? And I'm pretty clear that things are so bad that, no one really knows the past. Because, one literally, what's this? It's a computer mouse. I have no idea.
Yep.
That sort of thing. They don't know.
Definite post-apocalyptic, well in the future.
Yeah, and of course, there's, something, the weather's all messed up, which is why they have to let, the rain is, probably acidic or something, or...
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, any which way, it's pretty clear that things are bad in the world, and
no explanation as to what happened
yet.
Because
I'm sure we're ever going to get.
In.
Who knows? We might get an explanation somewhere else in the multimedia franchise,
or later in the anime, or something like that. Yeah.
It also uses a lot of CG animation. Not surprising.
A lot
the mecha and whatnot,
especially for the enders.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a single ender that wasn't
the enders and coffins.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all fight scenes.
You got two guys in particular, Tokyo and Kanata. They kind of, one of them was a drifter, and they kind of go out and they kind of scavenge for stuff, because the little thing in all these post-apocalyptic things is you scavenge for old stuff.
Yeah.
And people buy it because it's cool and it's old, and you have no idea what it is, but it's cool because it's old.
Or it might be useful. Sometimes it's useful too.
Sometimes, but I have no idea what this is, but I want it.
Yep.
And it's also things that are so bad. I remember at one point there's a point where literally fresh vegetables are so rare that people are literally willing to beg literal dogs for just 1 carrot.
Yep.
That sort of thing. Also, they have these weird android things called Magus.
Magus.
Yeah. We got these android girls, and they kind of help them interface with the coffin mechs.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, when they're out and about one day, they find one that's kind of just lying there, and they take her home. She wakes up, and she has amnesia. She's got white hair and red eyes, and his name is Noir, and she's of course very monotone and no personality. Like, we've seen this before, many times before, to the point of
many times before.
But of course, she kind of bonds with Kanata, even though he can't, drive a coffin as much as he wants to, and now, of course, because of her, he can, and there's also a girl named Ellie who has a crush on him. Of course, she's got big old twin tails, and of course, she's tsundere, and she's got a magus named Angie, and so on and so on and so forth. And Tokyo has a magus named Moten, who's more like a butler type of guy.
Yep.
But yeah, there's just other things going on, like some other guy showed up with has a mask thing over his eyes, and so on and so forth. And there's just, those bad guys and good guys.
Yeah. Teams that fight against each other just for,
So far, the big hook seems to be what's going on with Noir. And also, we kind of heard things about something about a goddess and a key with capitalized. I noticed that. The key was capitalized. Like,
Are you the key master?
I suspect something's actually important about this key.
Probably.
And that's kind of the general thing. It's like something about Noir. I suspect Noir, of course, had something happen in her past, which is super important because, of course,
she has some sort of connection to what happened with the world, or
something special about
big
her too.
Special thing that
she's special for some reason.
Yeah.
It's
overall,
it's fine.
It's fine. So
I'll say this is the weakest of the set.
Yeah, probably. It has some interesting. Like, I am really curious as to the story behind it, like the world building ass. Like, it's got an interesting plot, but everything else around it,
the characters
is
kind of
just
just bland as hell.
They pulled out the book of tropes and started pulling pages and didn't even bother anything else.
Yeah.
It is very tropey. Of course, you're going to follow tropes. There's a reason why tropes are tropes.
Yeah,
but it's just.
For me, the fact is, tropey doesn't really matter to me. It's just
you're just not
succeeding at the trope. You're not making them interesting in the slightest. All the characters boring, or I have seen this character 8,000 times now.
Right. It's when I say it's tropey, it's they use the tropes because it was easy, not because it fit the story. It feels generic, I guess.
Yeah, the amnesiac, the amnesiac kudere, or I guess kudere, or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
Amnesiac, just monotone, no emotion girl. Of course, the twin tail tsundere, who's of course in love with the guy, and the whole weird pseudo love triangle going on there. And of course, Mecha, and it's like,
we've
whatever.
Seen this before.
I mean, in 1996, Evangelion was using these tropes.
Yeah,
literally Rei. Noir there is literally Rei.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything really new. I'm interested to see what their particular story is on how the world got to the way it is, but nothing else really interests me all that much, just because it's like, I've already seen this.
Yeah, this is
Everyone's already seen this.
This is done by Bandai Namco Filmworks, an 8-bit studio. Let's see, 8-bit Tokyo Ravens. I remember that one. Tokyo Ravens, How to Keep a Mummy, Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Irregular at Magic High School, Blue Lock, Shy. Oh, they're doing Shy. Ooh. That's right. They're doing Laid Back Camp Season 3.
Oh, nice. 8-bit.
Oh, I've done a Macross film.
So they've got some good ones. They're pretty popular. Yuru Camp Season 3.
Yeah. Shy is one I really want to see when that's coming down the line at some point. Oh, this coming fall. Yeah, other than that, it's there, and it almost feels like, hey, look, buy the toys.
Yep.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. See The Witch from Mercury,
right?
But like, it doesn't really. It feels like it's just okay. Just check off the boxes.
Yep.
Paint by numbers, and it's just whatever.
Yep.
It's like, it's not terrible. It looks decent enough. Some of the music's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like they know how to check the boxes, but that's all they're doing. So
on top of that, it's also Hulu.
Yeah,
well, at least in the US. And this is a weird thing, because in the US it's Hulu. Everywhere else it's Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a weird release location.
Because it's Hulu in the US, you get ads if you have the basic plan, like I do, because I only have that through my phone provider. So it's like one of those, like, I don't really care enough to sit through ads for this constantly. Maybe unless someone says, oh, no, you don't get it, pops off in like episode 4 or 5. I'm like, okay, maybe then, but.
Maybe, but I'm not. No, it's. I'll go read a synopsis once it's done or something.
Yep, pretty much. So it's like, it's fine, I guess.
It's fine, but I'm not that interested. Definitely the weakest of the 4.
Yeah. So go ahead and move on to the final one. Final one, which, I threw on there because I want to get rid of the other one that looked generic as heck.
And we still got it generic as heck anyway.
Well, slightly more than... At
least the last one was generic as heck.
Yeah, Cindo Algae at least had that cool action scenes.
Yeah, even though they're very obvious CG.
But they're
cool.
Could have
been a little bit better. But yeah, they were.
Yeah, this last one, Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like the one that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
It's, as you can probably tell, zombies.
No.
Yeah, Akira Tendo. He is an office drone at a black company. Now, if you don't know, a black company in Japan is basically a company that more or less does not really obey the labor laws. They exploit those who are like fresh out of college, so naive or like desperate. They exploit them, basically grind them into dirt. They grind them into dust by, making them work long, unpaid overtime. And using all sorts of manipulation, like, you're going to let the team down. Do you really want to let the team down if you try to actually, clock out on time, stuff like that?
Right.
They do all this stuff and just burn through it because they know, even if you, like, literally, in some cases, it's so bad, the workers literally commit suicide.
They have a fresh supply coming in.
They'll always have a fresh supply of new college graduates or desperate people who just need something to do.
Yep.
They know this, and that's what it is. So he's stuck at this job. He's also in denial about it being a black company because we even see he's like, oh man, good thing I don't work at a black company, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's pretty clear. He's pretty much dead on the inside.
Yep.
And probably about to be dead on the outside. I believe there's one point it's implied he was going to commit suicide until literally he got a call from work, and that's literally the only thing stopping him, only because he's just kind of was on autopilot.
Yeah.
It's like, that's bad. And then one day, he leaves work, and zombies are there, and he's free.
He's like, wait, zombies? I don't have to go to work. Yes!
It's for him. You see, the way he frames it in his head, it's not the day the zombie apocalypse started. It's the day he quit work.
Yep. The day he was finally free.
And that's the thing is, when the zombie apocalypse happened, it was the first day in 3 years that he's felt alive.
They did a
the
really...
idea was he was a zombie for 3 years.
Yeah. They did a really cool thing leading up to that reveal. They were desaturating everything slowly.
Yep.
And then once you've made that realization and that first run, it was black and white until the blood started showing in various colors, and colors start showing up everywhere until finally that final leap.
Yep.
And the world was full of color again.
Yeah. And that's the idea is for him, he's now going to try to live his life as best as he could. He's going to try to have, he has a bucket list, and he's going to do all the things he can on it before he eventually becomes a zombie. Because that's always what happens.
Yeah, that's always happens. You
his
never
head is like, it's just inevitable. I will become a zombie.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is just, and because, as much zombie media does, is often is the whole, it's not really about zombies.
It's not about the zombies. It's about exploitative work practice.
It's about the people.
Yeah.
And here it's about the fact that he was just killing himself on a dead end job.
Yep. It seems to be the common here is that we're using this as a metaphor for exploitative work practices.
Mm-hmm. And at this point in the 3 episodes, there have been 2 other, it's pretty clear there's going to be 4 characters who are going to be important. 2 of the other ones have been introduced. One of them, she doesn't have a name yet in the anime. The name's out there because,
The figures are already on pre-order.
And also there's a manga.
Yeah.
It's based on a manga, so there's the name's out there. And his college friend named Kencho. Yep, who, they were actually in rugby. Kenshiro, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kencho, as he calls him, he finds him and they reunite, and they're clearly gonna be there because he's in Kencho's in the OP and ED and everything. So there's gonna be a group. It's a horror comedy.
Yes, this is an actual horror comedy,
and it's pretty funny sometimes. Just like an awkward meeting with 2 people who are just arguing about the whole. They're freaked out. They're out of supplies. They're stuck in the apartment. They're going to die. And they just see him, and he's like, "You want anything?"
Hey, I'm going to run to the store. You want anything?
And unfortunately, well, they died, but still.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that.
Then they die. But anyway.
One of the things was he had a crush on one of the other office workers, and she was there, and it turned out she was actually the mistress for his boss.
Yep.
That was her unpaid overtime, was for the boss, specifically one-on-one time,
Yep. Through the walls that are
these walls. No one can hear you through these, as everyone can literally hear.
Everyone can hear.
And that was the other thing, was he went to check on her. That was one of the things. He went to check on her, and oh, hey, look, she's with the boss. She's dead, and so is the boss, or maybe dead. They don't actually say exactly how this particular brand of zombies work.
Right. Yeah.
It might be the disease kind. It might be the undead kind. They don't. That's not. Was one of the things, again, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's dead. And he does the thing. He confesses to her and then has to run for his life.
Yep.
But anyway, he meets a girl at the convenience store, the Konbini, and she's very much the hardcore. I'm going to survive. I'm doing everything I can. I'm tracking my nutrient intake. I'm exercising. I'm keeping my stamina up. All that stuff. And she's like dismissive of him because, like, he's an idiot. He's going to die. I cannot have anyone like that in my life right now.
Yep. He's going to drag me down and get us both killed.
I suspect they're going to be the couple.
The couple, possibly.
I mean, particularly since I'm looking at this manga cover right here. And,
Yeah.
It's the two of them. The other two aren't on there at all.
Yeah. We got a blonde, apparently, that's supposed to be incoming.
Yeah, she hasn't appeared yet. And then the OP. It's like one of the things, he's like wearing samurai armor. But also, it's like she's also makes me look like she's a Westerner of some sort, because like she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. Then also, of course, Kensho there likes to get naked. Apparently, it's one of his like routines for comedy. That was the other thing that was interesting, was when there's a whole thing, like the bit of flashback where like the last time they really talked to each other, things went kind of a little sour because Kensho was like, they're getting drunk, and Kensho's like, you're at a black company, you need to get out of your job, it sucks, you're being exploited, and and then he's talking about how amazing his job is, and then of course Akira doesn't take well to that, and eventually it turns out Kensho was kind of exaggerating a bit.
Yeah, hated his job, wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And then that was the thing, was like they raise so many death flags for him, the death flags. Like, he's stuck at like some
he was in the red light district.
Yeah, he was in the red light district, and he was stuck with a zombie who's tied up. Thankfully, he was it was in the BDSM room apparently. She was tied up, and he's just stuck there. He's starving. All he does is water, which she's running out of. And then, because I guess plot convenience, some stuff still works. TV apparently still works. Internet still apparently works for now. It's one of those things like, I'll keep running, but for how long? Before servers start dying and whatnot.
Or someone
topples
zombies
down.
take out the lines for some reason or something like that.
Granted, it's a cell phone, but still.
Yeah.
Some of it's one of those like, anyway, try. But Akira calls him. And they talk, and he's like, I'll get you. And Kensho's like, oh my god, you actually came.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Anyway, they are able to escape. And although Shakira was a little too loud, and because once again, it's the good old, loud sounds attract the zombies.
Yep, standard zombie.
But he's a little too loud when he's apologizing. And then Kensho eventually apologizes on the roof, because like they get to the roof and like, oh no, we're trapped. We barred the door, but it's not going to hold forever. Akira jumps across the next building. Kensho's like, I'm going to do that. Well, I'm going to die here, I guess. And then he confesses that he was, never happy and all that stuff, wanted to be a comedian, and it's like looking like, oh, he's either gonna two things. He's either gonna die from the zombie horde, it's gonna come up behind him like right in mid sentence, or he's gonna attempt to jump and fall short.
Yep.
He also got naked for some reason while he was jumping, because it was just a thing. Yeah. It was just one of his bits he did, I guess, when he was at college.
Yeah.
Anyway, he jumps and he does fall short, except he's able to get on the ledge, and Akira is able to grab him. But of course, also Kensho also kind of hurts himself a bit in a very sensitive place.
Oh yeah, when you get drug up by your front, things tend to things are sticking out when you remove your clothes.
But yeah, they are reunited. He doesn't die. I thought for sure he was going to die.
He's going to die. He doesn't die.
He does not die. In fact, he's one of the 4 main characters.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't recognize it in the OP and ED, he's blonde hair, versus in the anime he has black hair. I just didn't catch it.
Wait a
minute, he survived. Is he? Oh, yep, it is him.
Yep.
Okay. But anyway, it's kind of silly.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a fun one, honestly. It's actually, I was really, really enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't have much notes, because, I mean, It's one of those, it doesn't deviate too far from some of the norms, but it does it really, really well. It uses tropes to their proper use. One of the things that I really enjoy, that I find hilarious, is it's just this dichotomy with the main character. Everything's collapsing around him, and he's just the happiest, and he just, okay, like, his best friend's trapped. Oh God, I can't get out. I'm surrounded by zombies. I'm going to die. And his best friend just, all right, I'll just come over and get you. And he dies. It's just this total, the dichotomy and the juxtaposition of the world and his optimism now.
Or the whole thing is, I've always wanted to ride a motorcycle.
Yep.
Or just singing a happy song about drinking beer because he's excited to go get some beer.
Yep, go get some beer. And the world's on fire around him, and he's just as happy as he can be, and he can handle it because he's dealt with worse.
Yeah, he's not feeling the crushing pressure of just his old job.
Because his job was worse. It seems to be a lot of fun.
One other thing I also want to note is I like what they do, which is, it's interesting. The blood splatter is not just red; it's multiple colors, red and blue and green, and I don't know why, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. It definitely does.
And so that, and again, there's also, we see that, like, they see the whole weird infection thing, like, the veins turn black and all that stuff. So I don't know. Again, they don't exactly explain the mechanics. They're probably not going to, just because it's not really relevant.
It's not relevant to the way the story is going.
So it's just kind of interesting, though. But yeah, it's often because a lot of, anymore now with a lot of media, it's like, no, see, our zombies are different.
You always have to do it, yeah.
Because, and also the good old, they often, in particular in Western media now, it's like, they just don't say the word zombie. Because, no, it's different. They're walkers, they're shamblers, or whatever. They're not zombies.
Yeah.
And here they're zombies.
They're just zombies.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun time. Apparently, it's done by Bug Films, who's not have a
Bug Films does not sound familiar.
Are they new? Oh, they've done the Ancient Magus Bride, apparently.
Really?
At least according to that.
Just this one.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, unless the Anime News Network has a weird listing thing. See, according to the Anime News Network, anyway. Oh, they've done some minor work. That's probably what it is. This is probably the first time as a major studio. They've done some help. Yeah, they've done some Ancient Magus Bride, some key animation, Komi Can Communicate, Kubo Won't Let Me Invisible, Witch from Mercury, Pokemon Horizons, Spy Classroom, Summertime Rendering, Tosucho, The Great Mission, Undead Murder Farce. Oh, that's another one that's coming out this season. And, of course, Zom 100. Where this is, they've done stuff like bits of key animation and production assistance before, and this one is looks like they're the first time they're doing major animation.
They're like the primary studio.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good.
It does. It definitely does. Oh, hey, Shaft is on the producers of this, too.
What that?
Not the studio, just producer.
Huh. Apparently the live-action movie also came out for this thing, too. Like, just came out.
Live-action movie?
Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on US Netflix, but it's on Netflix, apparently. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing.
Yep. It's a good one.
It's fun. It's definitely a lot of fun and probably the best of these four.
Yeah, out of the four, it's probably the most fun and probably the best one.
Yeah.
So we got a not a bad selection for as how the season was seeming to shape up. The four we got were actually not bad.
We probably got the good one, only good ones. Although, again, Undead Murder Farce I've heard is actually pretty good, too.
Yeah, I think I've heard. I don't know anything about that.
The woman's head is in a cage.
Yeah, no, not ringing a bell.
I've seen a couple pictures of it and like, oh, it's just there's a woman's head in the cage.
As they do.
Yeah, she's alive.
Yeah, as they do.
Sure, I guess. So, generally, we got some good picks.
Yep, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. So, I think our peak high and low is less than we've had before, but our average is pretty good.
Yep. We got some good ones. Not like, we
didn't have any like a bunch of major standouts, good or bad, but
and thankfully nothing that was just boring.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for this one.
That's all, folks.
If you enjoyed what you heard, you can listen to past and future episodes on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. If you want to check out the RSS feed there. You can also subscribe to us via other methods. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and also Amazon Podcasts. So that's the ways you can check us out, subscribe to RSS feeds or whatever, and, keep up with us.
Yes, RSS feeds, even though you never see them anymore, they still do exist and work.
Particularly for podcasts. Shocker. Anyway, you can also contact us via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. If you have questions or comments or anime recommendations or what have you, we might get around to it at some point in the future, depending, unless you recommend something just downright terrible. You can't trick me that easily. So there's that. You can also, of course, follow most of our social media. It's all going to be on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com/contact. So yeah, I'm not going to list it all anymore, but yeah.
The list is getting long.
Yeah, until, we find that permanent home we can settle into. You can follow on our social media there. One of these, I got to figure out how to post all 4 at once or something.
I have to find some sort of cross
Actually, now it's all 5.
Problem with cross posters is stuff like the freaking Twitter. Sorry, I mean X. God.
No, just call it Twitter.
I'm going to call it Twitter. Locking down APIs makes it hard for cross posters to work.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a thing right there. There's also personal accounts. I'm still at Nemesis Prime 1 on Twitter. He's still Alcatraz at 717_ at the end. I think it's the same for both of us in Mastodon, unless you don't have the underscore.
We're both, no underscores. I'm just Alcatraz.
And both Mastodon social.
Yeah.
I'm also on co-host, but
Same, but I never post.
I only post my videos there. I'm also on Blue Sky now. He's not yet.
We're working on that.
Soonish. I'm at Nemesis Prime.
Nice.
I got it. I got it. It's mine.
I may be doing fancy things with mine when I get them, so we'll see what happens.
We don't usually do that whole thing there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for this one again. Tune in next time. We'll be actually talking about Felicia of Pluto, Vapor Trail, Another Age, 2006.
Was that a light novel? That sounds like a light novel title.
It is an indie. It is an indie anime.
Indie. Okay, this should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually pretty excited to watch it because what's this? Mecha? Vampire?
Mecha vampire
Yuri,
and from an indie.
Yes.
Interesting. Indie can go good, really good. Not always.
So we shall see.
Yes, we shall.
The reason we're doing this now because apparently it's going to be pulled from distribution and at the end of this month.
Oh no! So we're going to talk about something that no one else can watch.
They will be able to in that very short window. We shall see you then, I guess.
We shall.
So yeah, hope you enjoy your time until then and until after, I guess, or whatever you want to. Hope you enjoy your time without us. Sure. I don't know.
Words. Anyway.
Words are things. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.